Welcome back to HHTv, where we have another dope interview that we're going to do today with your boy, MileHigh, as the host or interviewer. And today we got Cameron Nedd. I call him Cam because he's actually a personal friend of mine. But he goes by many different titles, actually. He was a basketball player, is a basketball player. We can't just say he is or isn't anymore because he still plays. But personal trainer and a cannabis influencer, employee, and now a strain reviewer called the Pheno Finder. He has a lot of titles. Let's just get that out the way. Okay, there's a lot of titles. I almost forgot a couple of them. Yeah, man, welcome onto the show. Glad to have you on. How you feeling?
I appreciate you for having me, first off.
Yeah,
getting me on the platform for sure, man. I've been good. You know, it's been a while since we sat down and spoke like this.
Facts.
But you know, just like it's like the world is moving, everybody's moving, and I've been moving.
Facts.
Say that.
I've been watching, you know, and yeah, I definitely can feel that. I got a lot going on. I'm continuing to add more to my plate and, you know, balance it all so I can just be the most efficient human being that I can possibly be. And I could say you're doing the same thing. Definitely just trying to find your way. So let's kind of get into that, man. So let's start from the beginning. All right. I think the first title that I gave you or said that you had is a basketball player. And I think that's a very important thing to say because that's kind of where this whole journey kind of starts, I feel like, for you. Because it's a story of, you know, struggle and perseverance because you didn't have the easiest situation getting on the teams, you know, from our conversations in the past. And then even once you did get on the teams, they didn't always pan out, but you've always seemed to find a way to keep going and, you know, and find yourself into, you know, very positive situations. So let's get into that, man. So let's go. When did you kind of get into basketball?
Man, so you taking me back.
Yeah, let's go to the beginning. We got to let the people know who you are. So
yeah, I honestly didn't start playing ball for real until middle school. Like that was my first actual basketball team.
Okay.
Was middle school. And you know, I played, it was like 2 years I played, and then, you know, I won MVP. That literally surprised the hell out of me. Like I won MVP of my middle school team. I was like,
most valuable.
God, like yes. But you know, I went to high school, and that's when stuff started to get real. Shit started to get real in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like I realized like it was another level to it.
Yep.
And it kind of like messed with my confidence. I just naturally, you know, everybody's a different type of person.
Yeah.
And like I said,
sure.
I won MVP of my middle school team, whatever that means. But like still, you know, that tells you the best at something, right? But at the same time, it was like, all right, there's another level I got to get to, and I'm not there right now. So it was kind of like, you know, at first I didn't really want to play anymore. But like, shout out to my mom, yo. She sat me down like,
Hey, the power of moms and
my son ain't gonna go out like that. You gonna go try out. You at least gonna try out.
Your biggest cheerleaders, right? Man.
Always. So like, I was like, all right, whatever. When it tried out, I got cut every single year. Every single year. Yeah.
So okay, so that kind of just shows. So you didn't play any sort of competitive basketball before high school, because high school is like that first point where you kind of get introduced
middle school
into
was competitive though, like because it was like I played for a private school.
Okay,
so it was like
that's
mad rivalries.
Okay,
and then I played football too, like a couple years before basketball, and it was the same schools we played against in football. So we were like growing up with these other schools, and we're playing against them in football, track as well. I did track, long jump, played against them in track. You know what I'm saying? And then we played against them in basketball. So it was like a true rivalry between, I can remember the schools, Concordia, and I went to this Lutheran school. Like I said, it was a private school. So it was Ascension Lutheran was my school name. We was the Eagles. But,
Eagles.
You know, so like, it was definitely competitive. So I had that, there was definitely a competitiveness to that coming out of middle school.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
High school was another level, though.
Yeah, and I guess saying competitiveness wasn't the right way to say it, but so like when I played football, when I started playing at 4, and I played for my very first year just kind of on a regular like little city team, but the very next year we played at a state level. So I was actually playing where we actually, you know, played different cities. You know, we had a whole team for the whole city. Then we, basically play to be the best team in the state, and then that team got to go off and play other states essentially. So the competitiveness level was just definitely a lot more there, right? Because it was never playing just like the same kids over and over and having that
much
same
is out there.
Yeah. So like the
whoa.
talent levels are like, I got exposed to like the different talent levels at a younger age, and you see kind of like the different calibers of kids, in the same sports as you. And that's kind of what I was saying. So like by the time you hit high school, that was now a new reality to you. Right, was the different caliber of players. Yeah,
I wasn't really.
Yeah, okay. So that's a whole different thing. Like I said, when you realize that there really are people that are better than you and bigger than you and faster than you, like,
right.
You got to have a lot of people and willpower to kind of push through that and keep going and get better. So yeah, let's kind of get in that. So by the time you got into high school into high school, you're having a hard time getting on the teams. Do you ever make it onto a team in high school?
So I end up playing. I played AAU for a year, I think, about a year, and then I also played rec ball, which was like everything. Like that was like the best time of my life playing basketball.
For sure.
Team. Like
the little brotherhoods and stuff that you kind of friendships, yeah.
And it was like not even just the brotherhood of that team. Like the coach still to this day. I talk to him on Instagram. He's one of my boys, like my coach from my rec team. Like I talk to him still to this day. But one of my like people that I really consider like my brother, like that got cut. Me and him got cut our senior year from the high school team. We went straight to the rec ball joint, and we absolutely dominated. It was like Kobe and Shaq. Like I'm not even kidding. Like I averaged like 9 blocks a game. Like people knew I shouldn't have been playing no damn rec ball. Like. You know what I mean? But it's politics and all that, this and that. It is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. So So do you end up getting any sort of scholarship into college? Because I know you went to college. Did you end up getting a scholarship into college for sports?
I did not get a scholarship because I played Division III. So you can only get the scholarships on 2 and 1. Okay. So what happened to me with that was, quick story. I would go to basketball camp every summer to get better, right? My folks would send me off to camp for a week. I would stay at a college and, wake up and just literally play ball all day. Like it was absolutely ridiculous.
A baller's life.
Body was fucking broken after that shit. It was nuts. But so my last year going, right, it was the year before I was going to college. I was like, I'm still 17, so I can actually still go. That's exposure. That's more work. Let me just go. And I went and I told you I was like Kobe and Shaq, right? I was obviously the Shaq component to that. But like I needed to work on my ball handling, more guard skills because I'm going to college and I knew that. So I went to the guard camp. I just went to a specifically guard camp just to work on ball handling and really tap into that shit. And at that camp, I met, shout out to the coach that recruited me, David Archer. He was low-key like my mentor for a little while when I was coming up because he just saw me and was like, man, if it doesn't work for you walking on, I was going to try to walk on to this Division II school. I was playing with them over the summer. I was playing pickup with some of the former players and current players and, just running with them and whatnot. And that was dope. But they wanted me to go to a community college and play and then make my way up, which is something that a lot of people do. Go to the JUCO and then work your way up. So I was like, I just always had that dream of going to college and playing and just doing that, living in the dorm, and just being at basketball, college, whatever. I always had that dream. So like when he said to me, yo, if it doesn't work out for you at Bowie State, you could come play for me at Penn State Harrisburg. I was like, Penn State?
Dope.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm there. Fuck that. I'm there. Let's go.
I would be too.
You know what I'm saying?
So let's go.
Yeah, so after that camp, I went back home and I had to break the news to PG College. I told them I was going to come play for them. And then, do my thing. I'm working my way up. And they was upset. It was like Division III, da-da-da-da-da. It's garbage players, da-da-da-da-da. They ain't know what the fuck they was talking about. They was cool. They was a great organization, PG Community College. But, like, Division III is no joke. It's a lot of players that should be playing Division I and II. They be like, you know what, I could just average 40 and play Division III. So I'm playing against, like, dudes from, like, you know what I'm saying, Yugoslavia, big giants. You know what I'm saying?
But I think you got to remember too, like
crazy.
the people, the athletes that kind of fall into that, you know, sector where like they should be playing at a higher level but aren't. It's because they're not the full complete package of an individual player. Right. Like when you're talking like the NBA or the NFL, any of the high caliber organizations, you know, they're looking for a complete package in the player. Can you play? Can you talk? Can you interview? Are you going to listen and follow rules? You know, can you clean up right? And are you going to do that on a consistent basis to represent us, right? So that's I think the difference between the players who end up ultimately playing in Division 1 and 2 and the ones who kind of get stuck in 3 that should be playing in higher caliber levels.
Right. That's why, like, side note, like, when Bronny I was going to say he got caught smoking weed. Nah, he showed himself smoking weed.
Right.
Like, shit like that. That's that shit that, like, knock you down from going from Duke to
being a tier 1 player to like, a tier 3.
Hofstra or some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So interesting question before we get too far into the college life, right? Because there's a very interesting, pivotal moment in college, right? Were you interested in cannabis in high school and your early, you know, moments in college?
I was in high school. Nah, I had that. You know, it was that stigma, like, you know, it's weed, it's a drug, it's a gateway drug. But I never like was like, oh, I'm against it, or like, oh, stay away from me if you smoke. Some of my homies smoke.
Right.
I was like, all right, they smoke, cool, whatever. I'm not gonna smoke though.
Yeah, fair enough. No, fair enough. I just wanted to ask because you know people see us smoking right here and stuff. You know, we got to start figuring out when that became a thing for you, right?
I definitely did not smoke. The first time I told you before. First time I smoked was college, but that was it wasn't a lie, but like.
But it was a lie.
No, it wasn't a lie.
That's why I asked right now because look, we all have that one time where we all took a hit off of something.
This shit was terrible. Listen to me. All right, it was my boy's birthday. My homie Tyler, it was his birthday, like 17th birthday, some shit. I don't know. I can't remember. But it was like I got a group of friends I call my brothers, right?
Yeah.
It's like 9 of us, like literally. We are fucking brothers, like for real. So we all get a hotel, just to kick it, play video games, you know what I'm saying? Go to a movie, this or that, whatever. Yeah. And then obviously I told you some of them smoked at the time.
Yep.
So Tyler being one of them, he was like, let's get some weed. It's my birthday. I want to smoke. So I was like, this was the one time I was like, I can actually, so I don't have to go home. You know, I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just try it. You know, this was the one time I gave in.
One time.
I gave in, right?
I knew it.
But check this out, though.
I knew it.
I told you before, I gave you a little prelude. It was terrible because, so we went, picked up some weed. They knew who to get it from, whatever. I'm riding, we get the weed. Go back to the hotel. Don't nobody know how to roll. So, and they had a blunt, like a Dutch master. Right?
Dutchies back in the day.
You gotta know how to roll a Dutch. Like, it's a lot that goes into rolling a Dutch.
A lot of parts to that.
From the East Coast, y'all know. So they tried to like gut it. Yeah, exactly. I don't think they got half that tobacco out. Stuffed weed in there and lit that motherfucker. It didn't work at all. That's why I'm like,
they tried to just sit there and like,
roll
it out. Come on,
no idea what they was doing.
Get it out enough.
So that shit didn't work, and that was that. So you know.
All right. Well, yeah. I knew you was lying, but you know.
So technically, I didn't really smoke, but I did try to puff it.
Yeah.
But
okay.
No smoke came out.
Anyway, so back to these college days. So okay, we get into college, and now we're playing college ball. You know, moving around doing training camps. When do you actually like kind of find yourself in a home now? Because you know you're kind of going through the phase of trying to figure out where you're going, who you're gonna really kind of commit to. Who do you end up finally committing to, and why?
For college?
Yeah.
I ended up going with the Penn State Harrisburg.
Okay.
Like literally as soon as Archer told me, like that moment at the camp, I was like, I'm done.
Done.
You know, I just had to go through the process. But I went to visit the school. I went to visit Penn State Harrisburg. And then, I mean, that was it. Because it was them two options. PG Community College was literally, I could walk to that from my mom's crib. Like, it was right there. Like, So I didn't want to stay.
Yeah,
I
that's
wanted
too close to home.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get out and see something. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was like, I don't care if the opportunity for me to play, because I could have gone to play D1 if I went to PG. I could have played D2 or D1. The goal was D2 with Bowie State, which is a really good school. They go to the tournament every year, all that. That was the goal, to go there. But like, I could have gone anywhere. I could have gone to Maryland. Who knows what had happened? Because I was doing really well playing with them over the summer in the summer league, in the Pro-Am joint. So like, who knows what could have happened? But like, I was like, I really just want to go to college. Like I said, I told you before, I ain't really have visions of the NBA or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't have that vision. So like, someone was calling me somewhere else. So like, so I was like, Penn State, Harrisburg, let's go.
All right, let's go. So we're in Penn State. We start playing. How many games do you get to play throughout your career at Penn State?
I play like 45, 50 games.
Okay.
Probably.
You get hurt?
Oh, yeah. I got hurt twice. I got hurt in a game. I got hurt in a game my freshman year, like halfway through the year, and then I got hurt right before sophomore year started, right before training.
So early.
Which sucked.
Yeah, early. Okay, so this first injury halfway through your freshman year, that's a very big moment right there.
Yo, like low-key, bro.
That's a big moment. So
I'll never forget that shit. Go ahead.
What is the injury? And then two, how does that change the course of your whole situation at Penn State? You know, maybe the way you interact with the teammates, your classmates. What changes after you get hurt?
So the injury was so I'm scrambling. First off, I gotta just say, this was the point, because I was a freshman. I was the youngest on the team. I told you I was 17 when I went to college. And I was playing with like this is the thing, it's like D3 is so random. Mm-hmm. Like I was playing with like 27-year-olds was on my team who had mad experience.
Right.
Like all like 25-year-olds, 23-year-olds, like all these guys who was like damn near grown men, like on my team.
They are grown men.
You know what I'm saying? So like, and some of them had transferred from D2 schools to this school. So like, it was some really good basketball players on my team. Seth, Abe, like Carl, like all. They was some dog. Kenton, my second year at Kenton, the D League called him up. Like it was some dogs on my team. So like, I was getting used to that, but like, you know, I was making my way, and I even started my second game. They didn't want to throw me in the first game, starting, but like the second game, I started from then on. But I wasn't like producing like that. I couldn't like do what the hell I wanted to do. It was just weird, you know. It was another level of playing ball, like so. Like I was trying to get used to that, and we had this tournament at Messiah College, and I'll never forget grabbing this offensive rebound where I jumped over everyone. And my teammates was like, that's it. One of my teammates was like, yo, that's it. That. Be like that. And
that's the one.
From then on, I was acting like that. And 2 games later, that's when I got hurt. I was scrambling for a loose ball. I was jumping high as hell in the air again. In the middle of the court, though, scrambling for a loose ball that like bounced up or some shit. And I came down on like 3 people. I twist my knee and my ankle. And I'm like, athletic trainer come out. He's like, yo, what hurts worse? I'm like, fucking ankle, the ankle. Tore 2 ligaments in that shit. Not completely, so I ain't had to get surgery, but I was calling myself boot man for like 2 months.
Dang.
Yeah, I had to wear that boot for 1 month. I had to wear the boot for 1 month. Like, I had to sleep in the boot.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I've fractured a bone in my foot, and I had to wear one of those little boots. They're really annoying.
So that was that. And then since then, like I said, I was in college, and it was D3, so it wasn't like all the athletes would stay together,
right, in
the dorms together. Like everybody was like doing their own. I told you, like grown ass men,
living their life.
Like,
yeah,
what, you gonna make them stay in the dorm? Nah. So like, I was staying with some random people that I just met. You know what I'm saying, through the internet. My homie Connor, I just met him. He needed a roommate. I'm like, all right, bet, cool, because this was all last minute shit, bro. It was, bro. I signed up in August to go to college, bro. August. I waited to the last minute, bro. It was like,
I think I'll go now. I think I'll go.
So luckily I found my man Connor. Boom. We roommates. He was cool. and then met some other friends from there. But like they weren't on the team, so they was living that college life, right? You know, you live that
partying,
sports college life with some partying, but the other people is like, oh my God, it's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So they smoking and shit, but I'm like, all right, y'all making it look real fun. My mind's getting more expanded. I'm in college. I'm learning shit. I'm meeting new people.
This is when weed comes back into it, doesn't it?
This is it. So like, I told them after the season, let's smoke.
Let's do it.
But I got hurt, so I was like, let's smoke now. Since I'm hurt.
I was gonna ask that. Did you start smoking to maybe eat just kind of pass the time since you couldn't really play and
yeah, pretty much I did.
So this is when the love of weed kind of comes into it, and you start to really open up to the idea. Excuse me, man, this is some good GMO right here. I'm just saying. Shout out to the Cuban crew. But that's when obviously you open up your mind to the idea of weed. You obviously don't know a whole lot about it, but now you're willing to use it. You're willing to enjoy the outcome of using it. No more panics and freaking out and stuffing Dutchies the wrong way.
Right.
That's hilarious, bro. Man, we all have some stories like that back in the day. Exactly. But so what's next, man? So obviously the love for basketball, the drive for basketball is starting to die. So what kind of it changes as far as the next course of action for Cameron after getting hurt and opening up to the idea of a regular life, if you will, like just kind of doing stuff outside of basketball and things that at the time weren't accepted in the game of basketball, like smoking weed and stuff. So what's next at this point for you?
So honestly, at this point, I'm still, because I was still a freshman when I got hurt, and I was still, I was coming back for my second year. But like, I started to smoke. I liked smoking, but I still thought it was wrong in a way.
Okay.
I didn't learn too much about it yet. I was just like going with it. You know what I'm saying? I was just doing it. I didn't know how to roll, so it was more like, all right, are we smoking?
He was one of those friends.
I'll smoke with y'all. Cool. And then I started wanting to learn how to roll. But like, I literally was like keeping tally of the days I was smoking. And like, I was like, oh, no, I can't smoke today. I smoked yesterday. Type shit. Like, I was really like, that's the type of mental person I can be, right? So like, I was going through this whole thing where it was like something, I truly believe it now, like something was really telling me like, you need to use this. You know what I'm saying? Like, It was like, but my analytical brain was like, no, this is wrong. What you've learned is wrong. What you know, this stuff.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
drugs,
all the stigma, like you said.
All that shit. You don't need, it's wrong. Nobody on the team smokes.
I haven't heard that in a long time.
Right? Like all that shit was like a thing when we was growing up.
Yeah,
so like,
for sure. I remember the DARE classes.
That was in the back of my head, but like something was pushing me. It was like my spirit was pushing me to smoke. So like my second year was really weird because like I said, I got hurt right before the season, right before training camp, which sucked because I lost my spot. We had a new coach. Dang. He brought in 3 or 4 players with him. One of them was amazing. Shout out to Kenton, amazing player. But the other one, he couldn't jump. He jumped like Nikola Jokic, like, and he took my spot, like straight up. Like,
and he took my.
But he
spot.
played with
Dang.
the coach in high school, so that's what that was.
Yeah, politics, like you were saying.
So, and I got hurt right at the wrong time. I was already starting. I got hurt. Boom, boom. But I came back. I played every game of the year. You know what I'm saying? But it was just like, people ask me, why don't you play more? I'm like, I don't know. Like, but like I was smoking all the time too. So like maybe they knew I was high and I couldn't smell it like they
probably
could.
knew.
They probably knew I was high.
They smelt it on you.
But
it was like, put him in the end when we up.
But at the same time, like it's like, yo.
Nah, that's crazy though.
Y'all use me right.
But
y'all not using me right still, regardless. Y'all still put me out there. Y'all not using me right. So like, it was like a whole thing. So like that's where my love started to diminish because it was like I see where the politics really come into play now because I'm on the team. I was starting. You see me playing really good in some games. I have outbursts and I just go off. But then I'm sitting the next game like for the whole it's like what? So like I'm like I can't fuck with this. I don't like this. I like basketball. I love basketball, but like I don't like playing on this organized team with being told what to do and I'm like, I can't.
It's not fun no more. It's a job at that point.
Yeah, it's
a
like,
job.
ugh.
That's the one thing about college that I've heard from every athlete that I know personally that actually played at a college level is once you do reach that level, you're being prepped to potentially be at the next level. So now it's a job, even though you don't get paid for it yet.
Exactly.
It's a job. If you don't treat it as such, then, you're gonna get left behind. And I think there's a lot of people like you, because I know a few friends actually that once they hit that college level, they played for a few years. Some got hurt and had injuries that kind of slowed them down, like yourself. But I hear more often the loss of drive because it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
It's not what they remember. They've played for 10 plus years already at this point, since kids, and they realize like, you know what, I don't think I want to do this. And when you start hearing the statistics when you get older and you start to really realize that that's real, that most of y'all ain't gonna actually make it.
Right.
That's a factor that I think really plays and weighs in on a lot of people and a lot of players in any sport.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So basically, we're getting out of the whole basketball phase as far as just losing the drive, getting more interested in other things. I remember when we were talking, you said you kind of switched up your majors a few times, right? And ended up kind of settling on like personal training kind of style stuff, or body health and mental health and kind of just all of it together, like just getting yourself right. What was that journey like and why did you settle on that?
So like I said, I got hurt twice. I went to the same place, same physical therapy place to get better each time. Dreyer Physical Therapy out in PA. And like, man, they just took such good care of me. I was like, I just loved that environment so much. Right. I asked the head physical therapist, I was like, what major should I do to do something like this? I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, but like to be in this environment with like athletes and healing people and like working out people and, doing different things like that. He was like, kinesiology. He's like, Penn State got a great program. I was like, all right, bet, cool. Went to the counselor. I was like, y'all want to switch? She was like, you got to go to the main campus. I was like, all right, bet, because I don't even want to play ball no more. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to the main campus. I'm going to the football games. I'm stress-free. Like,
no more practices.
Stressful. This shit is stressful. So that's why I switched up, and that's where my love came from. That's why I was like, everything happens for a reason. It's crazy how you got at this shit. And I got hurt at that, those 2 times. And it was like, that had to happen.
Yeah, no brainer.
That had to happen.
No brainer. Yeah, okay. So you become a personal trainer. You graduate, you get certified, you start doing your thing. Do you immediately start working underneath a company, personal training, or do you do your own thing? Kind of how do you transition into the real world now as a personal trainer?
So honestly, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Once I got my degree, I was like, I was at my mom's. I was staying with my mom again, moved back home for a little bit. And I was like, something just came to me, like, just be a personal trainer. So I was working out at 24 Hour Fitness at the time.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, let me see if I can get a job over there. So I just went down there. I told them I got my degree in kinesiology. And they was like, well, you need to get your certification for personal training. Right, we can take you on, and as long as you're getting it and get it by this time, cool, you can be a trainer. So I was like, all right, bet. Get on, learn the ropes. And I got my personal trainer certification, took the class or whatever. Basically just study at home and then go take a test in a computer lab and, get a thing or whatever. Show them you got it, and then that was it. So I went to work for them, and I learned a lot, working like, and that's the thing about as a personal trainer, wherever you are, you're working for yourself. Right. Even you're in a gym, you're still working for yourself. You got to go get your clients.
You got to sell yourself still.
Sell yourself, all that stuff. But I learned a lot working with, other trainers. I work out with them. They teach me some things. That's why I learned how to do push-ups. Most people do push-ups wrong. I'll tell you that right now.
Calling everybody out.
One of the head trainers came over to me while I was working out. He was like, bro, lift up your stomach. Most people got
the back arch. Yeah,
just push up their chest. They don't lift up their whole body. He showed me that. I was like, oh, that was like another level of that shit to me. So like I took that shit and ran with it. That's all I fucking cared about, like forever since then.
Technique
was like form, technique.
Yeah.
You gotta be doing that shit right. There's no point in adding weight at all if you ain't even going to do a push up right. There's no point even doing a bench press.
That's true, because you're only going to hurt yourself, actually.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
training muscles.
People in all sports get hurt.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of times because they ain't working out right. Like even the top trainers, they go past shit to try to get improvements and show like, yeah, I improved this person. But then they blow out their knee. Right. All that shit to waste. All that shit, it's crazy. So like
that's real.
I'm still real passionate about that shit for sure. But like that's where it started. Working at 24 in Annapolis.
Okay. Yeah. And so did you, with the personal training and stuff, did you ever transition into like starting your own personal training business or anything?
Yeah, so after I came out here, it was a couple years after I was out here. Okay. And I worked in the industry. I got out the industry.
Okay. Let's get into that. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure if you had maybe started something back at home before you came here.
I wanted to just come out. I was a trainer for about a year. Mm-hmm. And then that was in 2013. Give you a little timeline. What happened, as we all know, in 2014.
Yeah.
Weed was legalized in Colorado, right?
Recreational level.
I was like, I had a boy in college. We had a dream to move out here and grow weed. We just talked about it.
That was everybody's dream. You know everybody's dream, man. They either
talked about
grow weed, make edibles, make hash, whatever it was. And it was very soon and very quickly realized that it wasn't for everybody.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? But let's get into this though. Like, 'cause this is when I actually come into the picture as far as when we met.
Yep.
I was working at Good Chemistry already, and I was in the back of the house helping in I want to say at that point, I think I might have still been in the trim room. Might have been like helping manage the trimmers or something like that. But you ended up coming in and starting in the front of the house or the retail side, and you were a bud tender.
Yep.
And I remember we kind of like hit it off because, both was, just, cool. You was like honestly one of the first at that particular time, I think, black people in the company.
Straight up. As soon as I see you, I'm like, bro, what's good?
Yeah. I think there was only like one other one, and he was a big manager. Mm-hmm. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. But like I remember we just kind of hit it off. And then we smoked a few times, stuff like that. But we were in different parts or departments of the situation. So we just didn't really have a whole lot of like time to really like kick it or go to lunch or anything like that, where you end up building
that camaraderie.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
But so you were there for what? I want to say like 2 years, 3 years almost.
Yeah, it was like two and a half. I think about 2 years.
Okay, so what was the experience like for you with Good Chemistry and starting off as a bud tender and moving on up, because I know you ended up getting, I think, multiple promotions while you were there. Yeah, man. It was honestly
it was amazing for real. Like, it was getting in that industry job at first. It was like I was a kid in a candy store for a good 6 months.
We all are.
Like,
it was great. I remember those days.
Going to work was not like going to work at first, and it was amazing.
Facts.
It was absolutely amazing.
I can vouch.
Just coming in. I remember the first day, my first day. Q, he was like, all right, I guess we got to throw you into the fire the first day, because we had all these, they got to drop. So we got all these boxes and pounds of weed, and it's like you got to organize it and count it and shit. I'm like, oh my God, can I smell it real quick? Oh, I can smell it real quick. Oh my God. Like, it was just like mind-boggling. Like, it was crazy. So like, that shit was great. And then like all the connections you make, all the people you meet and stuff, like I made, because I was just like, all right, let me see what I can do. Like, I hit up Mass Roots. That's back when they was popping.
Yep, I remember.
And they had their own little, platform where you could post weed and stuff, and it wouldn't be tied back to your email. So I hit
back
up the
when
creatives.
You had to do all that.
Yeah, like back when it was like,
it was still real sketch. Like, it was still real sketch, even though it was legal. It was sketch.
Like, so I hit them up. I got them to come through the shop, and then like, they was like, damn, he brought the owners, the creators of this social media through. So they started looking at me, a little bit different. Like, okay, he's
connections. You got networks. Yeah.
He's here for something else than just work. But like, it took me a while to like really get that footing and see all the things I really needed to do to take that next step. I ended up doing that. They asked me to come help them open up their new store in Aurora, the rec shop.
Yep, I remember that store. I helped out with that store, actually. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So helped them open that joint up, and I was like the junior assistant manager for a little bit. They just want to see how I did, and then they bumped me up.
I remember when they made that weird position just to, it was like a test position,
it was
basically.
test position. Whatever.
Test, like a tryout.
Yeah, pretty much. So like, and they bumped me up, and then we had a little thing going on. It was cool for a while, but like, and then, I made some even better connections like myself through that. Like I started. I would just like hit up rappers like, yo, I can get you some weed when you coming in town. Like, I got the shop. Like, what's good? And then like it worked a couple times.
Yeah, took like a burner approach.
Yeah, like it was like, fuck it, like that shit worked. And the GM was like, yo, how are you doing this? Like, how are you meeting with these people? We get on the tour bus. Like, this shit was crazy, right?
That's dope.
So we making all these connections, and it was like dope. It was dope. But then like the real job shit sits in, and when the business starts to get more corporate and it's really expanding, like we was a management team of 4 people, and we had like 25 bud tenders.
Yeah.
That was like running a school.
But that's how, what? And it's so crazy you say that, because I think that's still, at a lot of the dispensaries, that's still kind of the motto. Like, you have like the bare minimum amount of managers, like just enough to manage the most amount and maximum amount of bud tenders, and like lower level employees that you can pay the least.
Yeah.
Like real shit. Mm-hmm. But so what were your, let's start with let's get the bad part out the way first. What is your most memorable bad moment at Good Chemistry? Or we can even, like, 'cause you've been in the industry a long time, let's just broaden that and just say period.
Just period. It was definitely getting fired from Good Chem.
Yeah.
100%.
I remember when I want to say, did I talk to you that first day, or I know it was shortly after you left?
Probably within that
Chemistry.
week. You probably hit me up within that week once you found out.
Yep. And to kind of bring that back on a happy note and finish out with the Good Chemistry story, what was your favorite moment with Good Chemistry?
Meeting Currency, when he walked in that door.
That's dope.
That was like,
I remember how excited you were about that. You've actually told me that story a few times.
That was like the craziest shit. Like that week was nuts, yo. Like I hit up Roddy. So y'all know the Jet Life crew. Mm-hmm. Roddy, I know he doing his own thing now, but he still fuck with them or whatever. But like he was coming out with TY on Monday for a show. I found his manager online. Hit him up. Yo, come through. I'll hook y'all up. Whatever. He hit me back like that. He's like, all right, bet. I will never forget. He was like, that deadhead on your page look crazy. I'll never forget. I was like, yo, he's for real. I was like, all right, bet. Hit up the GM. I was like, yo, it's cool if I get the ounce and whatever else they want. He was like, yeah, give them whatever they want. So like, they came through, and I remember it was just like, it's crazy when you listen to somebody all the time
and then meet them,
and you see the videos, but do you actually see them in real life?
Yeah.
But like, yo, that's just crazy. So like, they came through, and that was the one day. Went to their show that night. That shit was dope. Said was up there, and boom, they took off. And the one homie at the show was like, yeah, Currency coming out on Saturday. I was like, I didn't even know that. I was like, let's go for it. Fuck it. So I hit up his manager. He didn't hit me back. Right? But I'm at home. I'm about to go into work. It was Saturday night. That was the day of the concert. I already bought my tickets. I'm going regardless. And I get a call from the store. And they're like, yo, Currency's on the way. I'm at home in my shorts and shit, just chilling, smoking, playing a video game. I'm like, what do you mean he's on the way? Where?
Right. Where is he on the way to?
To the store. He's coming to the store right now. I'm like,
I gotta get in. Yeah, you gotta jump into action at that point.
Like,
yeah.
Yo, I didn't change. I just hopped right in the fucking whip, went straight to the joint. I had my cut off sweatpants on, like, you know what I'm saying?
He said,
like,
I'm in my pajamas.
Whatever. I'm out. I'm there. I'm in my slides. I don't care. I'm there. So I pulled up and like I'm waiting. And I remember, I'll never forget, I walked from the back to the front where the desk is, and then the front door is right there. Mm-hmm. And as I walked out the back, he opened the door. And he said, where I gotta be at? I was like, got you, dog.
Right here.
Took him to the back,
gotcha.
Rang him out with some weed and shit, and that was it. That was love.
That's fire.
Yeah,
that's
cool
dope.
People, the whole crew is just dope. But
that's dope.
That was it, man. That was like the highlight of my fucking everything.
That's fire. Yeah, I think my most memorable moment in the industry, as far as meeting people, is meeting Andre 3000.
Oh, I remember I saw your
Love.
picture.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember I fanboyed
That was a
out.
Kind Love, right?
Yeah, I fanboyed out like a mug. I was geeked, so I feel that. But yeah. So you played a lot of different roles at Good Chemistry, and like we were just kind of mentioning, the worst part of that experience was ultimately getting fired. And I have a personal relation to that experience myself because I worked for Good Chemistry as well, like we said it earlier. And I also was fired from Good Chemistry. So that feeling of like, it's very mutual. I understand it. I was very bitter about it for a long time. I can't even lie. But I'm glad that was a mutual thing too. Because I was bitter for a while. It took a long time.
It was like
to
a
get over
family,
that.
dog. It was like this family. When they only had the Colfax store, bro, I'm so glad I got in when it was just the Colfax store for like 8 months at least. I had that 8 months because that was enough. That was like what I had dreamed of dispensaries would be like.
Yeah, no, it was
small
dope.
Family vibe.
It was tight.
Going out to smoke. Your boss rolling up a whole eighth in a blunt, picking you up and taking you to the weed store.
These are old days.
Yeah,
this doesn't happen now.
I don't know what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Like, don't go run over there.
Yeah, but no, I feel that
this
because
is the old days back in
because I was in that
like,
very early. I was a part of the very first official payroll trim crew that they hired on. So like I was in the very, very beginning of like them really, making those first like initial expansions.
Your badge number was like in the thousands, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was in the industry early, like because I knew because of Krista actually, who we interviewed the other day. She helped me get in really early because she got in super early because she had all of these connections and networking.
Yeah.
And again, me doing the same, I knew her. So she helped me get in. Yeah, my first badge, was like 8,000 something. It was under the first 10,000 badge. It was dope. But enough about me. Back to you. So after you get fired, you end up at it was Kind Love after there, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Because I was already there. I think I was bud tending at this point. I might have been.
Nah, I was there before. I got fired before you, bro.
Did you?
I'll tell you, bro, because it's stuck in my memory so well.
Did you?
I got fired January 2016. I was in Kind Love by like end of February or beginning of March, and I got fired.
Yeah,
January.
You're right, and because I got fired. I want to say in like June or July of that 16. So yeah, you're right. It was like 5 months later. So yeah, you end up over at Kind Love. You're bud tending and security, and you're right because I do remember going and shopping at Kind Love and you greeting me as the security guard. And what I do explicitly remember too was how pissed off you were about that particular position.
Bruh, I hated it so much. Like I felt like time was moving so like Doctor Strange hit me with that shit, dog. He hit me with that time stone, dog.
Yeah,
like,
look, so
it took me back.
Let me explain this position to some of you who are like, why would that be so boring? So like literally it was just like this. It was called a security guard, but it was more of just like a escort to the door into your car kind of position.
/janitor.
Throw the trash away.
/ that other stuff he said. Janitor first. And then the other shit he said. Yeah.
Man, it was definitely not the most ideal position to have to be in.
I will say, I did love one thing about it.
What?
Taking care of the clones.
Oh yeah, having to sit there and water the clones.
I would take my time with that shit, mixing nutrients. I'd be like, oh, how much do I need? Oh shit, I messed up. I gotta do it again.
It was like the one time you got to be in with the product in some fashion.
I would take my time with. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be.
Because the rest of that whole position was being a glorified janitor with some extra like concierge type responsibilities. So you weren't at Kind Love very long. I do know that. Like Good Chemistry. The reason that there was a lot to talk about there because you were there long enough to have a story.
Yeah, that was
Whereas Kind Love, the most that we could talk about is you being a security guard and the anger that you felt doing it.
Well, I do have one cool story from that.
What's up?
Slip in real quick.
Okay, let's go.
Because I was like, I got to do something. Like, I can't just sit here all day standing here as security on these days I have to do this.
Right.
So I would work 5 days, 3 bud tend, 2 security.
Okay.
Right. So I was like, I gotta get this shit off my chest because you felt my anger,
Yeah.
whatever. So like I started writing. You know that little cubby hole? There's a little cubby hole up in there. So I started writing in there. I would just write. I created Consciously Cam. This is where Consciously Cam started.
Yep.
And I changed my Instagram name back
Yeah, you did.
to Consciously Cam. And I just started writing like my thoughts and shit. I wrote a blog post called My Purpose.
Yeah, I remember you doing that for a little bit. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like just to get that shit out. And I wrote something about the cannabis industry too. And I wrote it while I was working. Like on my phone. Like I wrote it because I was like, fuck that.
But
like,
you had a lot of time to really do that though,
It was like,
in
I'm not
that
doing
situation.
Anyway.
Yeah, because and even the bud tending, because at that particular time, I don't think you were on the rec side. Weren't you a bud tender on the Nedd? Yeah, see, so and the Nedd wasn't the most popping store at that particular time either, because rec was starting to be more of the focus, and it was more kind of like a regulars kind of situation that came through.
It was a very regular
the medical side.
And unless we had the green dot drops, they was doing drops before anybody for real.
Yeah, well, that was just because they had a relationship they had built. So okay, so you leave Kind Love ultimately after like 8 months. I don't think you even made it a year.
Yeah,
because at that point I remember I didn't quite make it to Kind Love yet because I was working at Cross Genetics, and I was there for a while. So, so you were long gone out of Kind Love before I actually made it there. I think you were just kind of coming through and shopping.
I think he was there. I think it was like a 2-month period. That's why you
so
see
then
me angry.
You would have had to have been there longer than.
That's why you see me angry.
You would have had to have been there long because I know I shopped there a lot. That was like one of my go-to spots.
Maybe
to
that
get
was
weed.
it. Maybe that was it.
So I think that's more of where that interaction happened.
Maybe
Because I was working at Cross Genetics, like I said, for a while, like at least a year and a half after I left the chemistry first, before I went to Kind Love.
Okay, so maybe you did get fired before me then.
Maybe.
You was at
I don't
Cross
know.
Genetics for a while.
I don't know. I have to go look back, man. It's been so long. But so you end up at Clinic. This is a very similar story as the Kind Love one, so we won't even really waste a whole lot of time there because it was pretty much kind of the same thing, right? Like not necessarily a security thing. You get to be a bud tender, but again, it's just not right. The vibe isn't right.
It wasn't right. It was some real corporate shit went down. Like I honestly like I talked about it on one of my Pheno finders.
Mm-hmm.
I expounded upon, if y'all want to hear more, check out my Pheno finder. I did like a little Black Lives Matter episode talking about like my experiences and how some of them was like low key racist.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
And maybe that's something we'll save that. Right. And we'll bring you back on.
Okay. But
and we'll dive into that because I think we have a whole conversation that we can actually have about just like weird and faulty stuff that has kind of happened through the industry as far as his experiences, my personal experiences. And, maybe we'll get someone else involved in this that I know has some very interesting stories too. But, yeah.
So, Clinic, not the right spot.
Yeah.
Long story short.
Yeah. I wasn't too keen on them either. Not to bash anything. If you like Clinic, it's all you. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't for me. Obviously wasn't for him. And that's just what it is. So, then after you get out of the industry, because this is kind of where you kind of just were like, all right, I'm walking away. This isn't right. Mm-hmm. We were talking the other day. You said basketball kind of comes back into the picture again at this point. And I had never really realized that it had left your life because I remember you always going and playing, pickup games or still being very active in like playing basketball. So it was very interesting because I was at the point that I learned like the extensive, the intensity, I guess, of basketball in your life and like how it actually played a big part of your life. So what kind of transition moving back into basketball at that point? Do you have that drive again?
So I, at that point, I was just, my thing was, it's a saying. I don't know who came up with it, but stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. So like,
Facts.
I look at my basketball training like I'm like a Dragon Ball Z warrior.
Okay.
So I'm always training. So
Facts.
if the time comes, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Like it's time to go. So
like that dude who walked on the Eagles. I can't remember his name. The quarterback. Like on that whole situation.
Hurts.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's fire. Okay.
So that's how I was looking at it, and then like I was like you said, I would always go play pickup and this and that. I'll make friends playing pickup. My homie Devin had I was on his Snapchat. I seen him playing at some tournament, and I was like, oh, what's this? Because it said semi-pro, something. I'm like, oh, semi-pro. It's like, put me on. Like, I just had that in me at that point. I was like, let me at least see what's going on.
Right.
So I went, and it was like a coachless type thing going on. Mm-hmm. But like they played in different leagues and this and that, and we'll go around. So I was like, all right, let me fuck with it. So, you know, I felt like it was something to just to get back into. I was feeling.
And at this point, were you starting to at least make money off of basketball doing this? Like, were they doing big enough tournaments or situations where like you could at least make a little bit of money? Like, I know you ain't gonna be rich off it or nothing, but
no money,
still.
strictly for the love. So it's like I said, semi-pro. So that's the semi.
So
semi mean no money.
Yeah, for sure.
I
just
gotta pay.
You never know.
The semi mean you gotta pay, motherfucker.
Pay to play.
So like,
so were you doing personal training too at this point then, or
yeah?
Like, what were you doing to supplement like the income? Like,
I was training. So I started consciously. I went from I had Consciously Can, which is my Instagram handle. But I also made Consciously Fit, which is my personal training thing. And I was training people for all types of reasons, you know, lose weight, get in shape, get performance-based reasons for, you know, sports and this and that. And I was training a lot of different people. And that was cool for a little while, but like it was just it would fluctuate so much.
Yeah, the ups and downs, especially in this economy right now, where people are kind of like real off and on. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
As far as how they approach everything, because everyone's got real short attention spans.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel that
it's hard to make people see the value in training, and like it costs a lot too, like to charge people for that.
Facts.
And then it's like, you know, who you going for? Like, you know, what clientele am I? You know, all these different things. So I was just like, do I actually want to? I was like, wait, I don't have to do this. Like, I can do whatever I want. I just, you know, you had that realization sometimes. Like, I don't have to do this thing I decided to do. I could just do something else.
Right.
So I was like, you know, I was doing the thing for myself for a while, but then I found another training company that was cool too, that had like the same visions as me, and I didn't have to actually go sell my training. They said they would just give me clients. And, you know, that worked out for a while, fell off. So I was like, you know, I'm done with this. I'm done with training. I'm not going to train people. I'm just going to promote health and wellness in a holistic way with cannabis and all that stuff on my page. And then that's just going to be it. You want some tips? I could tell you. I can help you out. I can show you some videos. You know, and I got a lot of plans for that in the future, just, you know, with bringing that content to life even more. So, like, that's my MO with that right now. And that's where, you know,
kind of sits.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and it doesn't seem like, well, and I know personally that you didn't end up really playing the semi-pro stuff very long. And I remember around that same time, I remember you being super excited because I remember like doing an interview with you about it.
Yep.
On a different platform that I was, you know, kind of messing with back in the day. And we only really touched on that stuff because of how excited you were. And that was like, you know, the whole reason we were doing the interview. And I know shortly after that interview, like you really started to fade off on like even posting about it. Like it went back to like you just posting your own personal content when there was like a real heavy month of you posting like videos from the team games and, you know, you posting videos practicing or photos.
I like that you noticed these things. I like that you noticed these things.
Yeah, and it, like, so I was like, man, this isn't going to last very long.
So one of the things that happened was I got hurt, bro. I got hurt really bad, actually. I fucked up my ankle, like, again.
Oh, so a third injury.
Bruh, yes. I blocked dude's jump shot. He was shooting 3. Blocked his shot. Got it. I'm looking back. Came down on his foot. Like so bad, bro. It was like my toe was on the ground and it rolled like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So God is telling you to
and
not
I played
play
that
basketball.
whole game. Dropped about 20, and we won for the record. But after that, I was done for a good month.
I'm sure
because I wasn't going to physical therapy. I was just doing it myself. I was like, I know enough to as long as this thing ain't broke or torn completely, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? So I can just take my time, ice it. I know what to do enough because I got so much experience training. I can heal myself and get back to normal.
Nice. Okay.
So that might have been it because I came back after that for a little while, and then it was just like they was talking about us getting paid and traveling more and doing this and that, and that shit just kept falling through, which I wasn't like upset about. it was just like, I got to do something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
Like,
can't keep wasting time on broken promises.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I got to do something.
every time I hear broken promises, this is a side note. My girl's sitting here, doing is like saying that song. Anyways, okay, back. That's an inside joke. That's for another time. Maybe we'll have to get her on one day. But anyways, so all right, so yeah, I noticed that you know, again, lose that interest. I didn't realize there was an injury behind that, but I do know that I did catch that whole interest shift again. You know what I'm saying? From like a real hardcore, you know, basketball focus, like, oh, I'm gonna do this now, to again, you know, Cam trying to figure out what Cam's gonna do, you know?
Bro, I was trying to like, because I was on that team and I was one of the best players on the team. And I remember the last interview we had, I was talking about bringing in Lush as a sponsor for the team. And it actually happened. But like, because we didn't go nowhere and do much, that shit didn't really like.
Yeah, it didn't materialize into anything.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't get what I wanted to come from it. But I wanted it to be like, yo, this is how, you know, weed's gonna get legalized in sports. Which actually, it don't even matter now because it actually is happening.
Yeah, facts. And
they're not testing for basketball this year.
Yeah, I know. And there's a whole lot of stuff. I want to say, like, what the House of Representatives the other day passed.
The criminalizing.
Yeah, for on a federal level. So now it's only got to go through one more situation to, you know, be done. But so now this is where we can kind of start getting into this whole situation that you guys have been looking at in the background, wondering, what is this Pheno finder?
Oh, yes.
All right, because this is really where I was trying to get to, but we had to kind of lead up to why this matters so much, right? And why this is important and why you're pushing this. And I feel like all that stuff is what led up to this situation in this moment for you. So the Pheno finder, to give you guys just a small background on it, it's just Cam giving his approach and his opinion on different products and, you know, what they taste like. Just a review, you know what I'm saying? Let me just, be simple. It's a review show where he just reviews products from, you know, I've seen him do flour. I want to say I've seen him do edibles too.
I haven't. I wanted to do.
So it's just been flour? Okay, because I've seen a bunch, but I want to say I thought there was one that was different, but no. He just posts a bunch of shit.
I've talked about edibles a lot on my page.
So let's get into that, man. So why did you create the Pheno finder? How did you come about it? What inspired this whole situation here?
Man, so Pheno finder, during that time where I was playing ball, I was trying to think of ways, because I'm kind of fading. I'm not in the weed industry anymore right now.
Right.
But like, I'm like, I have to be in the weed industry. Like, this is what I came out here for. Like, I really want to be in the industry. I want to have like a say in it. I have enough knowledge, like not even trying to be cocky, just through my experience and what I've done and, you know, all this stuff. I just have knowledge that I want to share. And I'm always amassing new knowledge. I'm someone who likes to read and
learn new things.
So like, you know, I know I can do this. So like, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? It was like, I just was sitting down thinking like, what do I do? So I remember it was the Green Dot, first time they dropped some weed in flower form. I was like, all right, I'm obviously going to get some to try it out. And I was like, let me just put up my phone and review it.
Facts.
And a couple months before that, I was thinking like, you know, I could do like a weed show or something like that, like, and just have it be something consistent. And I was thinking of names before. Currency and Burner came out with the album Pheno Grigio.
Yeah, I remember.
And that shit just stuck in my head, like, Pheno Grigio, that shit's tight, that shit's a vibe. So I just started thinking of the names off that. I was like, Pheno, it's perfect. I was like, I don't want to do Pheno Hunter because people always say Pheno Hunt. I was like, I don't want to say Pheno Hunter. People say that. I was like, Pheno Finder is cool because it's like with the magnifying glass, like Sherlock Holmes type shit. Like, it's tight, right?
Yeah, I've seen this develop, so that's fine.
Phenos, right? So like, I was like, Pheno Finder. And I feel like it just rolls together. Mm-hmm. So like, I was like, all right, Pheno Finder. So I just put on my phone. I was like, this is going to be the first episode of Pheno Finder. Boom. And I just smoked a joint and just talked about just the taste and the smell, what I thought about it, about Green Dot a little bit, and
gave your opinion.
It was like 6 minutes long, something like that.
Yeah, facts.
Put it out, and then I got some good feedback. And like, I was like, damn, people like that more than I thought. Like, somebody asked me to do another one. Like, just off that, I'm like, that's with my phone, it was kind of fuzzy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you gotta do what you gotta do though.
Well,
when
I was
you
like,
know what I'm
all right,
saying?
let's do another one. So I just kept doing them, bro. I got like I got like 40 episodes now.
Yeah,
fire.
fire. And the one thing I've noticed from watching them, I don't think I've watched them actually in any particular order, but I know I've seen a bunch of the early ones, and I've kind of like went back and rewatched a bunch of them. But you can definitely tell when you first started till now, because you've definitely come up with a formulation on actually how you get into the whole, episode, and how you kind of break it down. And, there's a process to it.
Yep.
And I feel like you've kind of gotten comfortable with that process. So can you kind of explain what it is and how you actually, review a strain or a product?
Yeah, so I just thought about how I naturally smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like how do I, like what made me, so back in the day at Good Kim, I became like the guy, like they would like, you in a store with pounds and pounds of weed. Right. Weed is gonna fall on the floor, or this or that, or it's gonna like, a jar is gonna be open in a box, and it's gonna be a weed nugget in a thing, but you don't know which one to go.
Yeah, anything.
Shit gets all over
Things
the place,
happen,
right?
For sure.
So people would bring me a nugget just to test me and be like, "What is this?" And I would tell them exactly what it was, and I'd be right, like damn near every time, like. So like, and that I feel like came from just me just looking at weed.
Yeah, all day.
Smelling it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then I realized how much I smoke, and like, how much of one strain I smoked before, like I really like that strain. Like I really like sit down and think. I had to sit down and think about all this shit. Like, how much do I need to smoke before I know everything about that strain I need to know? Because like sometimes I smoke and like I think I know this strain. And it's like, oh yeah, this shit. Oh my God, you take one hit of this shit and it's amazing. And not that it gets worse over time.
I haven't asked you if you want to hit this
not that it gets worse over time or something like that, but like I realize different shit about it when I smoke it in different instances.
Yeah, facts.
So like I need to sit down with a quarter. It take me a minute to really get to know a strain.
Yeah, and I think that's super important that you said that too. And that's a whole nother conversation where we could just break down all sorts of things about what we know on a cannabis level from our experiences. But one strain can give you so many different interactions, right? Based on the interactions that you're, currently in.
You in. Yeah,
right.
It's a lot.
So, and the mood that you're in, all sorts of things kind of play in why you feel a certain way when smoking something. So that's super dope that you said that. That brings up whole other topics that we can get into later. But yeah, so at this point, with the whole breakdown of all the different things that you're doing now, I think it's really cool because you have such an extensive, background in cannabis, and you're willing to go take the time to go buy stuff, right? Like you already said earlier, I was going to get it anyway.
Right.
And to take the time to just sit there and put a phone in front of your face and talk about it and educate people from your personal experience on why maybe they would or wouldn't like something, I think it's super dope. More people should do it.
Yeah, I be telling people.
I'm just saying it.
I be telling people when they see me,
really
see me or hit me up on Instagram, they be like, "Yo, da 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 da." I'm like, "Yo, you could do this."
Yeah, the best experiences are personal experiences, right? And that's where you're always gonna learn the most, because when you have so many different like stories to base one thing off of, you kind of get a generalized sense of what that may do for you, because you have just more experiences to look at and be like, well, that person, I don't know, I don't like his experience, but I like his, and I like his, and you know what I'm saying? You can kind of weigh it out a little bit more when you hear more experiences on one thing, which I think that's dope, because when you go buy weed in a dispensary, that's all the bud tenders are doing anyway, is selling you their experience, a customer that they, talk to on a regular, or a coworker, or a salesperson from one of the companies. Like they're telling you and giving you selling points. So something to think about when you're buying your weed. Or any of your products. So what's next for the Pheno Finder, man?
So right now, as you can see, I'm working on merch and things like that. I'm testing it out right now. This is the test run of the hoodie. So like,
for sure.
Shout out to Garden Club. This is my homie, one of my brothers I went to high school with. I collabed with him on the merch. Yeah. So he actually designed the design and all that stuff, and he's making all my clothes. So like, we all working together with like a permanent collab type thing. Yeah. Right? So shout out to him. Shout out to Garden Club. We got a lot of merch coming down the pipe. But other than that, I'm just trying to. I can't say too much, but I am expanding Pheno Finder.
Okay.
I'll say that I'm expanding it. I'm gonna make it bigger. Like I'm gonna make it what it should be. Like it's gonna be absolutely amazing.
All right.
I'm more than excited to show y'all. But I will say it's gonna include, like I said before, y'all could have kind of picked it up before. Workouts. So I'm gonna be incorporating weed and workouts in some type of way, and showing people how you can use it to prep for the workout.
Okay.
How you can use it to recover from the workout.
Facts.
I don't like to smoke during my workouts. So like I feel like the
that'd
prep
be
goes into the
unproductive.
during. You know what I'm saying? Like I know some people like promote it, like do it during the workout too.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
was
a fan
about
of
to
that.
say that I feel like you'd be really unproductive trying to
I'm not a
do
fan
it
of that.
during.
I like to get high before my workout.
Yeah,
though. I
me
like to
too.
get stoned
Facts.
before.
Facts.
But like, but you know, so like it's gonna be something along the lines of that. Another thing I'm big into is just being holistic, all in general.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna definitely be incorporating more about like meditation.
Facts.
And that spiritual side into it as well.
Facts.
With incorporating cannabis or not. You know what I mean? That could just be his own. That's probably gonna be his own type thing. But I do use cannabis before I meditate. I will say that. It's an easy way to get into that, you know, chill mind state.
Yeah.
But also cooking as well. Not so much like
Infused, but just really cooking.
not even just
Healthy.
infused stuff, but just cooking, like showing people how you can be healthy and be simple about it. That's like my MO with that shit, because like a lot of people look and it's like, oh my God, vegan, you know, oh my God, paleo, oh my God, like all these things, keto, and it's like over fucking whelming. Like
I agree.
it's too much to take in. But like the way I like to think about it is just like, you look at your plate. What do you got on there? You got a nice balance of veggies, a little bit of meat, you know, a little carbs. It could be some sweet potatoes or something like that. You could double up on the veggies. Like all these little things, it's just easy ways to fill up a plate to make it a whole meal and be healthy and delicious. And it's simple. It don't have to be like, oh, I got to have 27 grams of fat and 42 grams of protein and 96 grams of carb. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm
but
intimidated by that type
healthy
of situation.
and know what I'm eating and keep track of it too. I don't need to know all that. Some people do, and that's fine. So I don't mean to make fun of y'all, but like you know, because that works. And like, and if you do it for a little while, it can give you like a really good like vision of what you need, and you can go with it. But like, I don't like to rely on numbers like that. We're too natural and we too flowy as humans to rely on just numbers that aren't actually accurate anyway.
Facts.
They're not actually accurate. So like, that's my thing with that. So
right.
Definitely we bringing more content about making food simple and healthy, meditating and spirituality, just consciousness in general, and then working out and weed.
And weed, I like how you said, and weed.
Yeah,
don't
we're
forget
taking the
that
next
part.
level, dog.
So that's dope, man. I could definitely tell this is one of the first times since I've known you that I could feel like a genuine kind of like happiness and appreciation for like where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Like I don't think I've ever seen you this content before. So yeah, that's good
Appreciate
to just kind of feel that type of energy and vibe coming off you, man. You should definitely keep doing what you're doing.
Hell
and I'm
yeah.
excited to see what you have coming in store as far as all that stuff and watching it unfold and develop. And start plugging all the Pheno Finder stuff, man. How can people find you? Social medias. How can brands reach out if they want to get products reviewed? I know you're modeling for some, people now too. So if they want to, put you on in some clothes or in front of a product with some stuff, hit some poses. How do they do that?
Yeah, just hit me up at ConsciouslyCam on Instagram, or you can slide in my emails, thephenofinder@gmail.com.
Thephenofinder@gmail. All right.
Yeah.
Well, gang, man, you got anything else that you would like to plug as far as what you have going on? Any shout outs to anybody? Anything like that?
Man, shout out to all the black owned businesses that I bang with. My sister started up her own, I guess you call it cosmetic line with the hair oils, beard oils.
Yeah.
She got a shea butter now that's absolutely amazing.
Shout out
to
get
her, keeping me nice and oiled up and all that.
You don't look ashy. I have to say that.
Thank you. Shout out to my man Ruck once again on the Garden Club. the clothing line, and then shout out to my boy Wade, Anthony's Locker, out in PA, out in Pittsburgh, doing this thing with his shoes.
Yeah.
If you need shoes, hit him up.
For sure.
He got it all.
That's what's up, man.
Already.
Well, man, I appreciate you, bro, for coming and sitting down with us for this interview. Again, I feel like this is just a dope introduction to who Cam is, the Pheno Finder. And it kind of, leaves us the opportunity to bring you back and talk about more current events and even dive into some of the, experiences that you had in further detail.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Yeah, shout out to you. And then shout out to, the content creation studio too. My people's here helping me out with this whole situation, man. Super dope situation. Look them up. You know what I'm saying? Help y'all out with some things for all those content creators. But yeah, I love you guys. Shout out to all the brands that are sponsoring and helping out with this, such as High Grade, my actual clothing brand as well, MileHigh Apparel. Almost forgot it. I'm a little high. I was gonna say MHA, but then yeah. Anyways, I love you guys. There's no me without you. Always remember to live life high, honest, intelligent, genuine, and humble. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.